Oh, cool. It looks like we are live. What is going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Nerd Chase channel. I'm your boy, Nerd Chase, and we are on episode 151 of Breaker Debates.
Wow, 151.
Yep. Me and Ken are going to have an open discussion, open topic video today. Madam B won't be joining us tonight, but it's been hectic and she's been working really hard, so she's kind of worn out. And today's my off day, so I'm enjoying it. But Ken has joined me again, and we're always grateful to have Ken on the scene with us.
I love covering trouble. That's what we do best.
All right,
And
Mr.
we
Ken.
both got the snot nose.
Everybody getting sick, except me. I'm just making the noises.
You lie.
So what do we have on the agenda today, good sir? What would you like to talk about in the open discussions?
Well, there's a lot of news of a lot of different series, but one that I personally caught wind of today, and it's Scooby-Doo. It's coming out with a, if you remember, well, you may not, I do, but Scooby-Doo and the 13 Ghosts.
Yeah, 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo?
Yes, they're finally going to end that whole series with a movie with Vincent Van Gogh and the 13th Ghost. They caught all 12. They didn't get to the 13th yet. And they're going to have an animated series movie coming out. I didn't see any time frames, though. But I would say very soon.
So Scooby-Doo and the gang is going to be with Doctor Strange.
Vincent Van Gogh.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
I was like, what? And they said it's been 33 years, and yes, we're finally going to get the 13th Ghost. I said, all right, well, cool. That was one little quick tidbit, but there's a lot of.
Should they? How dark should they make it?
I've already seen some preliminary stuff of it, and it's not going to be grim or dark, but it's going to be like, from what I saw, it's going to be not so much as the regular Scooby-Doo episodes. It might be more closer to the newer series that is a little darker, but it's not like dark, like crazy dark. It's kind of like watching a newer version of the Scooby-Doo with the old style of the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. Although the bad guy's supposed to be pretty wicked, though.
Oh, man, I want to see the Zombie Island Scooby-Doo come back.
Well, see,
or the Wicked Ghost Scooby-Doo. I want to get a little serious. I mean, they're talking about ghosts and stuff. And I know it's Scooby-Doo, but...
Well, Velma, this one's kind of targeted with Velma in mind because she's always been the scientific person. As much as they've always seen, they've never really had that experience. And this one is talking about Velma experiencing her first ghost experience, like real, not somebody in the makeup. So it's going to kind of explore her in that contrast. So I think that will be interesting to see how they try to pull that off. Granted, it's Scooby-Doo, though. I mean, come on, you can't be too crazy with it. But, Zombie Island was a departure, though. That was for sure of the normal style of movie or animated series because they had like 15 or 16 of them. Yeah. And I always love Scooby-Doo, so... I'm a big kid at heart, and I would love Scooby-Doo forever and ever and ever. But as soon as I saw this one, I was like, oh, yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm glad that you brought that up.
It is on. Definitely on. There was a lot of talk about, I'm just going to kind of quickly scan if something bites on you, jump on it. But they're talking about making another Super Mario Brothers.
Let's jump on that. There's no reason in hell why they have not made a Super Mario Brothers movie.
Well, I'm sorry, they have moved it up to a priority development, looking for a 2022 release date.
2022?
Yeah, I know. But it doesn't say live action or animated.
It don't need to be live action. Please do not do that.
It doesn't say anything other than, like I say, it was a quick tidbit on one of the sites I go to every day. And I was like, that's interesting. Let me check into that. And I really didn't pull up that much more than what I'm seeing right now. So, yes, there's a Super Mario Brothers in development. It's
Thank God.
been accelerated, and look for a 2022 release date. I'm sure we get more. We'll tell you about it, but that's all I got right now, right in
I'm
front of
gonna
me.
throw out some stuff, man. I've said I've made a video a while back when I first started YouTube, this channel. I said, why in the hell we don't have a Mario Brothers animated movie? And I'm still asking myself that question. I'm glad now they're deciding to do it. And I guess you could say, yeah, based off what happened in the 80s with the other one, the
Yeah,
first original one
the live
with
action.
John Louis Gazimo and Bob, what's that guy's name? He played in Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Dennis Hopper.
Yeah,
And look, we all know that was a pretty shitty one. Some of us do cling to it through nostalgia, and I'm one of them. But it's still a shitty movie. And I can understand why they wouldn't go with a live adaptation again. But animated movies are killing it now. I would think when Toy Story popped up, Incredibles popped up, hell, Wreck-It Ralph popped up. A Super Mario's Brothers movie should have been like, yes, we should have been had one out.
yeah, they should have. But I guess I don't know. Maybe just because they're targeting times, or when something's really popular. Because we had a big run of the Mario Brothers and the NES and Super NES retro games that came out.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have tied something in with that when they brought it out. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll definitely keep an eye on it, though.
Yeah, because I want to see that. I am interested, and like I said, we got the CGI for it. So there's and there's so many great animated movies. Hell, on this channel, I just reviewed Next Gen. It was pretty good. And then kind of like now what they were kind of going with the Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. It's an movie. So
yeah, I'm ready to see that.
Just like I don't understand why Super Mario don't have a animated television show now. I don't understand that.
Well, it used to.
Oh, that don't count. That came out in like the 70s.
No.
Was it the 70s or the 80s?
It wasn't that old.
Because that's back when Legend of Zelda had a television series.
Let's see. When was that? Let's go back to the Wayback Machine. 89. Well, they had Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers, and Legend of Zelda. Legend of Zelda was 89.
See?
So when was Super Mario then? Super Mario was... why doesn't it say anything? It gave me the date for the other one. So we're winging about the same time frame in the 80s, late 80s. Oh, wait. 91 to 94? Adventure Super Mario 3, Super Mario were September 4th, 1989 to December 1st, 89. And then came back until September 6th, 91. And then the other shows, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. Didn't seem like it was that long ago.
Yeah, I'm sorry. They should have came out with this.
Yeah.
We got 10 different series of Ninja Turtles. We got 10 different series of Scooby-Doo. We got 10 different seasons of Batman and Spider-Man. And we ain't got no Super Mario. Pokemon. Hell, Pokemon.
Yeah, they've had like 3 feature movies and like 20 different series.
Yeah, they got now I think it's like 20 movies now.
How much?
Yeah, they got a ton of movies.
Wow, I must have just stopped caring.
Yeah, and you're right. They got about like 20-something different seasons and come on now.
I kind of kept up a little bit there when I always like Team Rocket. They always crack me up.
Yeah,
they always get their ass beat for some stupid reason, or Meowth ruins it for them or whatever. But it's always fun.
I'm not gonna lie. I always used to get pissed with that. I was like, "Come on now, Team Rocket can't always lose."
Someday they got to do something, but that's typical anime and typical Japanese style. That once a loser, always a loser, and they'll always be that way. They're the comic relief of the show, even though they come up with some genius plans. Sometimes they just can never execute it for whatever reason. I don't know.
Or it'd be like a good plan, but it'd be like they'll do this elaborate plan for like the stupidest thing.
Yeah.
They'll do this
You could have
really
just walked up and grabbed it and walked away.
yeah, they'll have this $1 million plan that actually freaking works, but it'd be like for like a egg or something. You like, really? Come on, man. It's,
Yeah. It makes you wonder sometimes. It really does.
but I, honestly, Team Rocket, they were my favorite characters.
And they were always funny. Let's see. Let me see if this is. No, that's not really guaranteed, so we're not going to talk about that. Remember the 4400 TV series?
No, I didn't see it. What's going on with it?
They are talking about doing a rebooted series of the 4400. The CW, which I think it was on. It wasn't CW. It was on Warner Channel, whatever that was, WP Channel for a while, and then it went to like USA. It was a pretty cool series, and if they can redo it with more modern updates, it'd probably be really cool.
I'm on the fence because they okay. At first, I wasn't saying. I was saying like, okay, they're doing reboots, but they're not. You know, they're not doing like everybody's saying with not Hollywood and whatever, just doing reboots. And I'm like, no, not really, because I'm like, technically everything's a reboot. But I'm like, now I'm like, okay, yeah, they're rebooting everything. You're like, stop it.
Yeah, they're kind of getting a little crazy because I was reading another one. Let's see if I can find it real quick. But they were talking about what I'm kind of seeing now is a little bit of like shows that are similar in style. Like there's one now called The Manifest that's out. That like a plane disappears, and to them they don't seem like nothing's happened, but they've been gone for like 5 years, and they come back. And it kind of reminds me of the 4400 where people came back and had, unique abilities. And then there's another series that was kind of tailing on that. I'm like, come up with something original. Give me something new. Alien invasions are getting old. Zombies are getting old. Let's find something really cool. But
because like I said, there are very few. There are a lot of original ideas. They're just not going to go with it. And I don't mind reboots, but they're rebooting Charlie's Angels. They're rebooting Buffy. They've rebooted Charmed, which I do want to see.
I've seen a couple episodes of it. It's not too bad, but I didn't dive very deep into it. So I can't truly give you a full read, but I will tell you something that is really good though. Speaking of which, Sabrina the Witch, the new reboot on Netflix.
Is it any good?
Hell yeah, it is. I binge watched that in 2 days, and I loved every bit of it. I am very happy with that series. I didn't know what to expect because they said it was going to be a much darker, we're not talking about the one that we used to watch on ABC with, Salem the Cat who's always trying to take over the world and the comedy. I mean, this thing is throat slitting, people getting eaten, demonic, crazy, you name it, it's in there. It's crazy. And it is good. It is very good. It kept my attention completely every night that I watched episodes. I mean, I just kept going and going and going and going. Highly recommend the new series.
I don't know why I've been hesitant to watch it. It's not because I thought it was bad. It's just it's like one of those series. I was like, well, I'll eventually watch it, so I come back to it. And I'm not gonna lie, I did that same thing with Stranger Things, and I should have punched myself in the face because that's a good series.
Well, see, I was sitting there one day. I was like bored out of my skull. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. My DVR thing's been screwed up, so I said, let me just flipped it on, and the first thing that comes on is Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And I was like, all right, I'll go for it. I'll give it a shot. Episode 1 hooked. That quick. Just that quick. And I just rode it all the way through for 2 days. And well worth it. Well worth it. I was hesitant because I had been reading a lot about it, but I just was like, I don't know. Maybe I'll think about it. Like kind of like you with Stranger Things. And it just perfectly set itself up. Kind of like when I started watching Altered Carbon. Boom. It was there. I watched it. I didn't realize it was actually out yet. I thought it was still pending. the way the reviews were going, it wasn't really saying it was out. But I guess within a day or two of that, it came out. So definitely worth a watch. If you got Netflix, go watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch. But it's like the Creepy Adventures or something like that. And they could even tie it into Riverdale too. If they did it right, they could even tie that into Riverdale series. I don't think they will, but they talk about it off and on in there.
Let me ask you something. They were talking about doing, and I can't bring up reboots again. They were talking about doing the Shrek and Puss in Boots reboot. What do you think about that?
No, nope. I just don't think so. That magic. Now, granted, remember, I've probably seen Shrek a bajillion times. And I'm honestly kind of burnt out of Shrek. Although I like the supporting characters like the Gingerbread Man and all. Those are great and funny and hilarious. Donkey's pretty funny, but I do not see the need to reboot Puss in Boots / Shrek. Just no.
This is what I don't understand. Why? Because Shrek is one of those series. It's in the open. It's too much of an open world for them to be following one story. So I'm like, you shouldn't do a reboot. You can just make any kind of story you want it.
Yeah, you can. I mean, the world's open. I mean, it's basically story world. You just got to adapt it to the format that the Shrek has gone in. But you can do anything. I mean, hell, they did Prince Charming. I mean, they hit a major amount of characters in that whole movie. And you could have followed any of them. You could have followed Three Blind Mice. You could have followed Gingerbread Guy and somebody else. You could have,
or make an original character,
or Donkey and a Dragon. Or I mean, there's a gajillion stories there that are available. You just got to tie them into that style of world, and voila, you're good to go.
And you want me to tell you how I know that they could successfully make more movies based in the Shrek universe without having to involve Shrek? Because Puss in Boots was good.
Yeah, it was a standalone, pretty much, for the most part, movie.
Yeah, set in the same universe, didn't have nothing to do with the original cast except for Puss in Boots, and it was a good movie. So I'm like, of all the characters they could have either introduced or had go on an adventure or something, they trying to reboot it. Now it's like, why would you reboot? That's stupid.
Some people just gotta waste their time on something.
That's like saying you go to the grocery store and you go get you an apple and you eat 3 apples and then you eat a green apple and you just say, okay, well, I'm just going to throw all this other food away that's over here in this fruit aisle after I just ate those few apples and then just go get some new apples. And I'm like, come on now, all that food, come on. There is literally no freaking, all the like, it's like Once Upon a Time or whatever. There's so many different stories you can tell. There's no reason in hell that they can't just continue. Look, I don't mind. Look, I understand what you're saying about Shrek because the 3rd and 4th movie, that's all right. We ain't gonna talk about that. But Puss in Boots was good, a good Shrek movie without Shrek in it, and it had fresh ideas. It was interesting. It was fun. Had action in it. Great. You can come up with more. You can say, I don't know, have a movie talking about Fiona going off of her own adventure, some crap like that. A new original character that's a part of the series or not a part of the series, and have them go on the adventure. So there's a lot of ways they can spin it. Hell, they hitting fairy tale characters. So how many different fairy tales can they actually extend to?
We have centuries of them.
So you're right. The Shrek reboot. No, they don't need that. That's stupid.
Yeah,
and I'm tired of them doing these damn reboots like this. Instead of them making the next movie being a good movie, you reboot the whole series. That's stupid.
It's frustrating. It's a waste of time. It gets very, very irritating. Now, sometimes, I mean, there is a such thing as a good reboot, but when that's all that you're doing forever and ever and ever, and we can only be invaded by aliens so many times, we can only go to space so many times, give us something new. Use your brains. There's a lot of great literature books out there that you could convert to a movie. There's sci-fi has been doing a pretty decent thing of bringing in some of these comic book, graphic novel adaptations, and they're doing really good with them. You know, look there. You know, Netflix Altered Carbon was a great out of the box original style movie or TV series. So, you know, stuff like that is wonderful and great. Bring it. I enjoy it. I think actually they're bringing a lot better programming on the independent channels and slash Netflix and Amazon and yeah, Amazon's got originals too. So a lot of them are grabbing the mark and going with it, and I think they're doing an excellent job with the original and creativity and length. Because I mean, you know, we're getting series. We're not getting just a, you know, when we always talk about developing characters and storylines and stuff. You know, there's that great 1-2 punch movie, and then there's that I want to know more.
Mm-hmm.
And like good series like that. You know, the Sabrina. Great story, great writing, great visual effects. It's just everything about this is well done, and it's good. And then you know they you know have set it up for a second season. Stranger Things came out. It's like a completely different mentality of what we see now. Great show, great, awesome. Everything was great. And then we get into, you know, we start seeing. I think Sci-Fi's got another one getting ready to come out called. Not Dark Skies. It just blew my mind. But they got another kind of a sci-fi horror movie. If you remember seeing that movie, damn, my brain is going to mush right now. Had Lawrence Fishburne, and the ship was lost in space, and they found it. And it was
Event Horizon.
Yes, Event Horizon. The style of the movie and the storytelling kind of reminds me of that, but in a regular series. It's not Falling Skies or Crimson Skies. It's, and I hate when it does that to me. My brain is, I'm trying to build a whole bunch of new stuff at work, and my brain is just gush. Hang on.
Why are you thinking about that? Let me ask you this too. I know we touched upon it, but this whole Loki getting his own television series.
Well, there's actually, they're doing, I was just reading that too. Night Flyers is the name of the show I was thinking of on Sci-Fi. It's made by George R.R. Martin, the same guy who does Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Same, one of his series. I just read that because it said Tom Hiddleston is confirmed to reprise his role as Loki in the series, and there was actually, I just saw a note about Falcon and one of the other characters also, Bucky, coming on board into one of the Disney live action series.
I can understand probably Bucky and Falcon, but the Loki thing, I'm still kind of on the fence about that. I mean, is it going to be is this, okay, it's going to be set in the MC. Is it set in the MCU?
Would have to be.
I mean, not necessarily.
Well, the time frame, the time frame doesn't have to be.
It would be, because you said Tom Hiddleston is coming back.
Yeah, it's actually him. So it's going to be in the MCU, but it doesn't mean it has to be in the frame that we're looking at.
Yeah, I was like, is it going to be like a...
It could have been the time he was just missing and just gone and not having to do anything with Asgard, and he's on his own doing whatever he's doing. You know, he was always into something.
Or is this going to be set like after Avengers 4?
It could be long before it. That's the nice thing, because we know where he bites the bullet, so you'd have to go before that, and that would be anything before Iron Man, basically. So that's 15 years of our...
But the only thing about that is, if it's going to be like that, then wouldn't Thor be in it? Because before the first Thor movie, which came out after Iron Man, Thor was in the picture. It was, you know what I'm saying?
Well, remember, Loki's been planning with Thanos long before we saw the Avengers, because Thanos gave him the scepter, gave him the army. So this could be
but that's only after Thor. That's how he met Thanos, after what happened in Thor at the end of it.
Yeah.
That's how you met him. I don't know. I'm kind of interested, but I'm like, of all the characters they're gonna go with Loki.
Well, he's very popular, by the way.
I mean, yeah, Tom Hiddleston, he did it for the character. He did do it.
I mean, he's
But
a very. I mean, Loki was surprisingly a great character. Uh, and if they can do something, hey, I'm all about it. Ooh, what? Hold on, I just found a nice little blurb that just blew up in my face. Let's see. Let me make sure. I don't want to go half crazy here, but I'm hoping this is what I think it is. Come on, come on, come on. Don't forget Aquaman coming out December 21st. Looking good, looking very good. Get out of here. All right. Halo, a live action series.
when is that coming out?
Who's it coming to? Let's see. They're casting for John 117. We know him as Master Chief. Series will focus on the story of the games rather than one-sided tale of Halo world. Who's doing it? Showtime. Showtime is looking to secure Halo.
Son of a gun. That means I had to get cable.
Maybe. They may be producing it, but not be distributing it. They may put the money behind it, but ooh, I can't
Do they have
wait.
a name for it?
No. Just Showtime's looking for casting role John 117, Master Chief, hero of the Halo games, for its adaptation into an impending series that will be focused on the story of the games rather than a one-sided tale in the Halo world. So it looks like it's going to be a regular running series based on the games. Sweet. Love it.
I want to see that, but I'm interested in that too because
I wish they would have done the Halo movie with the guy that did what was that movie? Bellenkamp, whatever that guy's name is.
Who?
He was Bellenkamp, whatever his name is. He was the guy that they, did the what's the name of the movie series? Like, remember all the Halo commercials and stuff they were doing, and they had some test footage.
Where like they're doing it looked like live action, but it was actually for the game.
Yes, that guy was supposed to be doing the movie when they owned the rights to it before it went to 343 Studios, and when Bungie owned it. And he got knocked off of it for some stupid reason. And then he came back and did another movie. He actually did a movie with the Del Toro. Was it Del Toro? But anyway, he come back and he did a that was test footage for him to do a live action. They said no, we're not going to do it. He came back. He did another movie, which was really cool. District 9. That's what it was. The guy did District 9.
Okay.
And he did District 9 to prove how good he was at doing storytelling and visual effects on a budget. And I wish he would come back in and do either a movie or a regular reoccurring TV series with a good budget. Because I think he was going in the right direction. I think he had the right envisionment to do it. And it's just that I guess there was some, if I remember right, it was actually a legal battle between Bungie, Microsoft, fighting it out between each other. Microsoft eventually won it because they footed all the bills for it. And then they created that 343 Studios, which has come out with the rest of the games that we've seen so far. So
I love Halo. I'm hyped for it. I can't wait. This is what I think they should do with Halo. They should do a series, and then whatever the last, like the finale or whatever it is, ended in a movie.
Well, that's what they did with
started with a movie and then go into a series.
Well, I've seen it go. Well, we've seen a crossover or something like that. Remember, we were watching the Clone Wars, and then it was like Star Wars Episode 2. And then they had another separate Clone Wars episode that was like 5 episodes long. And then it jumped right into the movie, EP3. And they tied those in with an animated series. So you had an animated series, movie, animated series, and the movie. Because if you didn't, but the catch is, if you didn't watch that second animated series, you would be completely lost of what's going on in EP3. Although it looks really cool. I mean, the whole beginning of the movie is just badass, but there's some stuff that leaves you questions. And I was one of those people that missed that second animated series and went into EP3, and I was like pissed off because there was a lot of questions I had that didn't make sense. And I'm like, why? Why? What's wrong with this? This is not cool. But then I watched that series and I went, oh, that's why. You gotta watch that, because some people may not watch the series and just like the movie. So
yeah,
that's a personal that hit me, and I was like, ugh. I was so mad when I saw that movie, and then afterwards, it took me about a month, and I finally saw the rest of it, and then it made all the sense in the world then. But I mean, it was still a cool movie. Don't get me wrong. Visually, it was pretty badass. But there was just too many of these little questions that were just sticking in my head, and I'm like, something's just not right. I missed something somewhere, or maybe I didn't catch an episode 2, or what the heck happened. So you do have to watch that.
I'm all for it. I can't wait. Everybody know I don't know if everybody know I'm a Halo fan, but I'm a Halo fan. I love Halo. Halo's off the chain. Halo is life.
I like the storyline. I thought the Forerunner. You know what? I would even be cool to see some of the Forerunner stuff into a movie. Even before the as the Forerunners. I mean, just animated cut stuff they do in the movies, talking about the Forerunners and everything, was freaking awesome. I mean, the whole concept, the flood. Learning about the flood and all that stuff. I mean, hell, they could do a movie just on that alone, and it'd be pretty badass.
You should watch. It's an anthology, an animated anthology of Halo. I can't remember what it's called.
I know what you're talking about because I own it.
Yeah, and Cortana is telling the story about humanity, the Forerunners, and all of that. That was pretty cool.
That was great. I love that. I mean, I was extremely happy watching that, and that's what I said. Take that, modify it, put it to a live action movie, and it would be. I mean, there's been some really cool. There was a limited series, live action series that was really good too. Forward
Unto Dawn.
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, granted, we didn't see a lot of the bad guys, but the story build up and everything in there, and it rolls right into the book and the TV series.
But if you get past that second half, and when you get to the second half, that's when the shit start hitting the fan.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. Loved it. Loved it. And that just shows you. I mean, that wasn't even top of the line production. That was just kind of playing around and doing stuff. So I definitely look forward to seeing it. And I just found some more intel, but really right now they're just kind of leaving it open. They don't really have any particular confirmed actors at this time, though they're searching for them. And storyline wise, it's kind of following along with the games and the books. They don't have any particular. They don't say anything particular beyond that right now. So, oh well, we'll keep an eye on that too.
Have you ever seen the Chronicles of Narnia?
Which one?
Like any of them. Read the books, seen the old movies.
I remember the books, and I've seen a couple of the movies. Prince Caspian, the original Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, and the I guess it was basically 1, 2, and 3 that have come out. I've seen those. The books are way better.
Yeah, they're supposed to be having a live adaptation coming to Netflix.
Why? So they can expand the story. They need to tell the story before the wardrobe and why the wardrobe is what it is.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, most people don't even know about the wardrobe. I mean, the wardrobe is special and unique because of its history. Before it was a wardrobe, it was actually a tree. And it has a lot to do. There's a whole lot of storyline prior to that. And they really need to kind of start the story there and then roll into the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and it'll make a lot more sense to you. For those who like the whys, why does it do that? Why or how does it do that? This will answer that question.
I want to see more dynamic in the world because whenever you see the movie and they go into Narnia, it's like this big chase.
Yeah, you don't really see a lot of the small worlds
Yes,
or the populace, but the books don't really expand a lot until like the third or fourth book, and when they expand into like in Prince Caspian and all those, is where you find out a lot more about Narnia as a whole and expanding that entire little mystical world of Narnia, where it's actually like several continents. It's not just Narnia itself.
that's what I want to see. I want to see how these kingdoms get along with each other, how the White Queen rose to power, how Aslan was. I want to see all that. I want to see how all these creatures are dealing with this situation. Look, the movie. I actually thought the movie was actually pretty good, um, but I feel like it's so centered around the kids.
Well,
But
yeah, that particular two books was.
yeah, and it's like you don't see how the rest of the world is dealing with this situation.
It's kind of like Lord of the Rings. You have
Yeah.
Fellowship of the Ring, Return or the Two Towers, and Return of the King. But before all that existed, you had The Hobbit, and The Hobbit is what sets the grounds for the rest of those books. So really, there's a prior to The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and that's where they need to start and make it work, so that way you can understand the rest of the series.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing, they could have done that. Well, they kind of did it, but in reverse order. But then again, you got to remember, it took 14 or 15 years to make all three of the what we know as the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Because at the time, the computer graphics and just locations and all that. I mean, hell, those people, 15 years of their lives were sucked up in filming or being filmed or edited or something during that whole time. So that's a lot of dedication. And it was a really badass movie too. So, and I encourage you always to get the extended version of those movies, because in most cases there's like an additional 30 minutes to an hour to each of those movies that you did not see in the theaters, by the way. So pull up a week and watch the movies.
I'm actually this game. And I've done videos. Some of these have done videos on, but I'm gonna go ahead and bring up one or two topics. Uh, Gladiator 2.
I would like to see how they do that. I love
Yeah.
Gladiator, the first movie. Love the soundtrack to it. One of my favorite musical scores of all time. I would like to see how they would do, or what the idea of the story is for Gladiator 2. But I'm in. I just got to figure out what they're going to do with it.
I heard, I read a little bit on it. One rumor, I'm not sure if it's actually confirmed. It was like an idea somebody threw out there. I think what they were considering following the son and how Maximus's influence affects him. Like at this point, he should be. I think that at this point, the boy's grown, and if something's going to go down, he's going to have to deal with it. He's going to look towards how Maximus dealt with in the first movie, because we all know he died.
Yeah, everybody pretty much died except for what would have been the sister and the nephew.
Yeah, and so the movie's supposed to be following the nephew. Well, that was.
But see, after that though, they changed. That was kind of the fall of the Roman Caesars. So Lucius, that's what his name was, Lucius.
So maybe it's going to be around that.
Well, it says here they were talking about one of the story possibility is 15 years after the first movie, focus on Lucius.
Yeah.
He does discover who his real father was, why the Praetorian Guards ruled Rome. And it turns out that maybe Lucius is actually the son of Maximus. Dun, dun, dun. That would be interesting.
Yep. That'd be pretty sweet.
That would actually work out very well for a good story there. They might address what happened to Maximus after death. and throw some Greek mythology in there somewhere, to extend the story a little bit.
Nah, he did. Let him go.
He did.
I'm all for putting my time into my heroes and stuff, but he gone. Let him go.
Yeah, I think it would be respectful to let him just do what he did and be calling.
He
But
did
I
his
don't know.
time. It,
There's good options. I would go with the Lucius thing too.
yeah.
I think that's what I would follow and see how things go. And yeah, I found out my dad's Maximus. Okay, now what am I gonna do? How can I make things better? Or you
Or
know,
perhaps there's like an uprising or something.
yeah,
And or like you said about this time around Julius Caesar, maybe they're going to bring that into play.
very could well be. I would be interested. I'm in. I'm definitely in because I love the heck out of that movie. Loved it, and I cried, especially when he died. I was like, man, that's blows.
That man went out like a soldier.
Yeah, he went out all right. Damn dirty cheating emperor. Stabbed him through the lung and he still whooped his ass. That's
You know what?
badass. That's top line of badass for you right there.
Still beat him.
Yep.
I'm gonna throw something out, and this is just me throwing out an idea, and I'm probably gonna do a video on it later on. I think they should reboot the Phantom. Phantom.
The Billy
Yeah.
yeah, that would be cool.
Bring that back.
I'd be in for it.
They
Billy Zane, that's the guy I was trying to think.
Billy Zane. I love Billy Zane in the film, and even if it wasn't a reboot and they just made a sequel to it, because Billy Zane don't look horrible now. Like he doesn't. You know, a lot of time when your actor is young, he's lean and stuff, and then when he gets like 20 years later, he's all fat and out of shape. And
Like Russell Crowe? Yeah.
yeah, like Billy Zane, from what I've seen, he's not like that. So
No, he's actually stayed pretty decent. He doesn't look that much different either. And even if he's not the guy who does it, I would still like to see a new Phantom movie. I like the old classic superheroes. I mean, we had The Shadow with Alec Baldwin, which was cool. I liked The Shadow. I liked the style of the movie, and I liked the concept of it. So let's throw the Phantom back in there. Let's throw some of these classic comics that Johnny Quest. They're talking about bringing Johnny Quest to a live action movie too.
I would not mind seeing that.
I would be all about some Johnny Quest.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw that news blurb before I came home today. But yeah, I would like to see not necessarily a reboot. Let's just make a new movie.
Yeah, sequel.
And because we know that the Phantom has passed through family anyway. I mean, we could even do a modern day version of the Phantom, like Batman, but it's the Phantom.
I think they take inspiration from like the Dark Knight trilogy.
Oh yeah, make it a more darker, sinister style. Like Batman Returns.
But but that's what's good about the Phantom is because and the Dark Knight trilogy because they made it so realistic. Like this could really happen. Like everything that the dude had and stuff. I mean, granted, there was some things that he did he couldn't do for real, but for the most part, yeah, you can see a person dressing up as Batman doing the things that he did.
Yeah, and Batman, and like say in the Dark Knight series, we saw that Batman doesn't have to be Bruce Wayne. Batman could be somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that the Phantom is generational. The father to the son or to the next heir. So it would be very easily accomplishable in modern time frames to bring that in there, or retro it. Like the original movie, 1950s.
Or do this. Better yet, if they decide to reboot or whatever, make it a television series.
Sure. Make it
started off like they did Arrow.
Do you remember a series called The Golden Monkey, I think?
Nah, that's I don't know what that is.
It was kind of like a kind of adventure style. Tales of the Gold Monkey, I think is what it was. Yeah, Tales of the Gold Monkey was kind of like a really crazy adventure. Like he was a pilot, and he worked in it was in around the 1940s, 1950s, where they were there was all these legends about the Golden Monkey and supernatural stuff, and the pilot was always kind of running stuff back and forth, but it just had that kind of that Phantom. I mean, you could have made him the Phantom without a mask because he was always getting into something and having an adventure of the week. But it was a really cool show. And it was like a like MacGyver, I guess. It had like 21 episodes, but it had all like these really cool styling. It was done in the 1940s style, so you had like the old airboats, you know, the leather bomber jackets, you know, and that style that we saw in the Phantom with Billy Zane in it.
Mm-hmm.
You could go to that style and time frame and do the Phantom as a regular reoccurring series. You know, do a 13 episode or, you know, 13 episode split into a, well, actually most of them are doing 13 episode now anyway, so you could pull off a 13 episode one. That'd be pretty sweet. And that way you get lots of development, lots of history, lots of a little bit of everything. You're not trying to cram everything into 2 hours. You get a good 30 to 45 minutes over a period of 14 weeks or 13 weeks. Shoot, yeah, I'm in. Let's do it.
I would definitely like to see that. The Phantom is one of my all-time favorite comic book movies. Love that movie. Damn it, I like that movie.
Yeah, I like the style of the movie. That's what it kind of just, to me, it was the ambience and the style of the movie. Because I remember, you know, where my grandparents lived, they had that 1-2 sheet paper newspaper, but they always had a comic series, and they always had the Phantom in it. And that was done in a 1940s style still. And so I would read that all the time. And then when it came out with the movie, I was like, get out of here. So I was very happy with it.
I've made a video on this too, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this too. Ewan McGregor as Black Mask in Birds of Prey.
I have not really dove into that one. I would rather see Ian McGregor reprise his role as Kenobi in a live-action Star Wars TV series than I would probably see him in some other show with the Black Mask and Birds of Prey right now. Unless he's just hard up for cash. But I don't know. I really don't have enough info to really provide some feedback on that one.
I want to see him do it because I think he is one of my favorite actors, but I want to see him play some more bad guys. I've seen him play a bad guy here and there, but most of the time I see him play good guys or like, you know what I'm saying, like comedy or drama, something like that. But I've never really seen him be like a bad guy. I mean, the closest thing I think I've seen him as a bad guy was in the movie The Island.
He kind of reminds me of the Black Red Skull.
Yeah.
Actually, the picture I'm looking at, he looks just like the Red Skull, except his face is black instead of red.
I want to say it's supposed to be a mask, but I know some depictions I've seen it was actually like his. I don't know. I don't want to say like I don't want to say he was like the Red Skull, but a lot of times you see him, it's like that's a mask. That don't look like no mask.
It says right here, brutal, ruthless crime lord of Gotham has a fixation with masks and derives sadistic pleasure from the acts of torture. Most enduring enemies of the Superman, Batman, and any of his foes. So
yeah, he was basically like Kingpin.
So I don't know. We'll see. I'm getting interested here. I'm getting interested. Let's see. Billboard featuring cosmetics, visible background, black mask featured in 20 Birds of Prey, blah blah blah. He's referenced actually in the movie and Justice League. He's actually referenced in there.
I didn't know that.
How interesting. I don't know. I'm interested. I'm game on. Let's see what happens.
I'm interested too. I hope they do the character justice. They do got a good actor. I'm not sure how it's gonna go with him being with his accent. I kind of feel like they probably should have got somebody that was American, but as long as he's a good actor, fine.
We could get rid of accents. We all know that. Heck, man. You can zap them with some language zapper thing and they talk normal. I mean, you gotta think about it. You gotta, like, Well, no, hers is not a good. Wonder Woman's not a good example because she still keeps her French accent, sort of. Hugh Jackman talking normal instead of Australian with an accent. Nicole Kidman talking English instead of Australian. They
Which
get
that
rid of.
tripped me up. I did not realize that she was actually Australian.
There's a lot of characters actually. The girl from Stranger Things, 9, she's English,
Oh, okay.
but she has no accent in the series. Those what do they call them, voice coaches or whatever.
Yeah.
Teach them. Doctor Strange. Remember, he talked pretty much perfect normal U.S. English, but he's as British as can be. So
Yeah. Okay, you're right.
So
Yes.
it's very possible to zap them.
Okay. Yes. Well, I think we come up to the last part of the show.
Yeah, we kind of blew past it actually, but that's fine.
Well, anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and get it, guys. In the comment section below, let us know what did you think about the topics that we talked about, because we covered a lot. I had to write them down. But yeah, let us know your thoughts about what we were discussing. Also, be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what's going on this channel, as well as stay tuned Thursday for more videos. And we're going to try to throw something out on Sundays as well. So without further ado, we'll catch you guys in the next video.